So I come to the Gemara. I finished learning the Mishnah. Now I come to the Gemara. So we discussed in the Mishnah, something you don't want to do is to just start reading aimlessly with no direction, because that's the way you're going to get lost. We get lost doing that. So I'll just speak out what I do with my chavrusa. So step number one is I like to scan it just, with my eyes. Just look over what I'm going to be learning today. I'll decide, and based on, the Oz V'Hadar Gemaras, the new Oz V'Hadars have dots, like little periods. I don't know who decided what they are, but they're generally pretty good in terms of defining sugyas. So I use those dots sometimes. The 2 dots is even better, but I use those dots. It's just, I'm sitting down with my chavrusa for 2-3 hours. I decide, okay, this seems like it's going to be we're going to see this piece today, or whatever my hespek is going to be. So you scan it out and just try to get a feel of what you're going to be seeing. So that's the first thing. Now, number 2 is I want to get to general. We spoke about the idea of getting from the klal to the prat, right? The more general to the specific. So what I like to do is in the Mishnah we said that the way to do that is just to ask the question of what's this Mishnah about? That was the question. What is this Mishnah about? Now in the Gemara it's a little bit differently. It's a little bit different because the Gemara, the question is going to be what's the Gemara doing? Because the Gemara does things, right? The Mishnah is static in a sense. The Mishnah just gives you facts, a case, a din, but the Gemara does things. It's active. So the question I'm going to ask myself when I start learning the Gemara is what's the Gemara doing over here? Now the way to answer that question, again, I'm not going to start jumping into the details and start analyzing. I'm just going to answer that question. So what I'm going to do to answer that question is a very helpful thing to do is just look at the key words, the milot manchot they say in Hebrew. There are keywords in the Gemara that sometimes or most of the times will tip you off in what the sugya is about. For example, minalan. The Gemara starts off the first words minalan. Or pshita. I know the Gemara is going to want to, we need a makar for something in the Mishnah. Or pshita, or b'mayaskinan, or itmar, or bringing a brisa. So answer the question, what's the Gemara doing over here? And that'll give us tremendous clarity, and we'll try to read through and see where it seems like the Gemara finished doing what it was doing. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is the parts, right? What are the parts of the Gemara? What are the parts here? Now, the Ramchal in Derech Tvunos has, I think it says there's 7 things that every Gemara is. There's like 7 things it could be. A kasha, a teretz, a she'ela, tshuva, a memra, a stira, a raya. I think that was it. I think that was 7. So he says, so the first thing is, so the parts in the Gemara, I'm gonna define the parts. What is the part here? So it seems like the Gemara is bringing a brisa. So I'm gonna label it, fine, brisa. And then we have a kasha from the brisa to the Mishnah, or the Mishnah on the brisa. We have a kasha. And then we have a teretz. We have 2 terutzim, Abaye and Rava. So Abaye gives a teretz, Rava gives a teretz. And then we have, Rava is asking a kasha on Abaye's teretz. And then Abaye is giving an answer, and the Gemara brings a raya. So just to speak out, that what are the parts and label them. It gives tremendous clarity when I label, the parts. So I know what the Gemara is doing in a general sense, and then I know what the parts are. You'll see it'll help you tremendously, because you're going to be 100% clear about that. I'm clear the Gemara, if you are. Right, I'm clear about what the Gemara is doing here. The Gemara is asking a kasha, it's giving a teretz, so it gives us clarity, and you'll see it'll help. I do this with my chavrusa, and I think this is why. The next day we come to Seder, and we're able to chazer over yesterday's Gemara without even, just learning it once the day before. We can chazer each specific step, and we remember, mamish, the names and everything, because we do these things. I think it's because we do these things of the what's the Gemara about or doing, and what are the parts. So that's it for now, and then the next step is going to be looking at each part and analyzing and try to understand what the Gemara is doing. And that's, so I just want to end off that the next step is going to be trying to understand the Gemara. And we spoke about the idea of learning Gemara without Rashi. Now I think it's the time. I guarantee you, if you do this for a week, your time b'limud, your enjoyment, geshmak, and learning will go up. I guarantee you, I think this is the number 1 game changer for me that I changed when I from what I was doing for so many years, was that I started trying to understand the Gemara, trying as much as I could to understand the Gemara without Rashi. It was, it's not my idea. The Darkei Gemara says it. He says, there's beautiful lashon over there. He says that you try as much as you can to understand the Gemara before Rashi. And people, a guy told me, no, nowadays it's Gemara and Rashi. It's Gemara, Rashi, and then Rishonim. But Anias Daiti, it's a toes gomer. It's a toes, meichatesi. you get so much more involved as you talk about. So try it out for a week. Try it out, learning Gemara without Rashi. Now there's a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about how to be mechaven to Rashi and the Rishonim. We have to talk about what are the Rishonim coming to do? Why do you Bechlal need Rishonim? You know, if I'm reading a novel, Layalenu, or an article, Rachman al-Litzlan, I don't need Rishonim over there. Why not? Why don't I need Rishonim to explain to me what's, or whatever, Lahavdil, right? A Peirush. We're going to talk about this idea of what do we need Rishonim Bechlal, and I'll be able to understand how I can Mechav to the Rishonim. So that's one thing. We're going to talk about a lot of things, the koich of a lambda and how to be a lambda and how to understand. I think it's all ideas daiti, but how to the question a lambda asks and everything to understand something. We have a whole series on memory, Be'ez Hashem, about how our memory works, using all the faculties of the brain in our learning. We're talking about spatial awareness, imagination, creativity, analysis, logic, all these type of things. We have to get kolatz moisai tamarna. You got to get your whole brain involved in the learning process, and then it makes a bigger impact on you. We'll talk about the power of simanim. What right? It says enotar niknes ella b'simanim. That's a pretty powerful statement. Ella b'simanim. How many of us? And we see the Gemara uses simanim, but how many of us use simanim b'chlal? Do you implement this idea? It says this is the only way to be koinatari ella b'simanim. So we'll talk about the lumdus of a siman. Why simanim work? How to use them properly. So there's a lot to do, Be'ez Hashem. Hopefully I'll get around to it. These videos are not easy, I must say. It takes time, it takes money. So Be'ez Hashem, we'll get to it, but that's it for now. So we spoke about the Mishnah, we spoke about the introduction to the Gemara, the steps, and Be'ez Hashem will continue. Shkar, thanks for watching, stay with us.